It's the final week of the regular season football here on 9-Star TV throughout the state of Indiana as well, which means many games such as this one tonight have conference title implications, as well as a push for momentum entering the postseason tournament just a week from today. From Hancock Health Stadium here in Fortville, Indiana, it's Hoosier Heritage Conference high school football action here on 9-Star TV. The Mt Vernon Marauders play host to the Tigers of Yorktown. Good evening, everybody. Alongside Bob Bartolomeo, former coach of UIndy, I'm Kurt Darling. Thank you for joining us here on this mild autumn evening. The story of this game is simple. Win and set a good foundation for the aforementioned state tournament, and many could say that the Marauders have done that so far here this season, having won 7 straight, securing at least a share of the HHC championship, but they could claim that title all for themselves with a win here tonight. But Yorktown, the small school of the conference, but competitive nonetheless, looks to build some momentum before taking on North Montgomery in the opening round of sectionals just 7 days from now. Coach Bob Bartolomeo, thanks for joining us here this evening. A good matchup that we have on hand here this evening.
Without a doubt, Kurt, and I appreciate you on the intro there, but it's a great night for football. Boy, it's a cool, crisp air out there in the stadium. Both teams have got their warm-ups in, and they're ready to go. So we expect some high-flying offenses on both sides of the football here tonight, and it'd be interesting to see how Yorktown handles the up-front guys of Mount Vernon, both offensively and defensively.
And leading the offense for the Mount Vernon Marauders here, as you see, Garrick Sloonaker. He has been a dynamo all 4 years of his high school career. He played his freshman year at Greenfield Central before transferring halfway through his freshman year to Mount Vernon, and he has not slowed down nonetheless, as you see by those numbers.
Yeah, great player, a guy that can get it done. He presents a big challenge to the Yorktown defense, both with his legs and especially with his arm. He's thrown for over 1,500 yards and 20 touchdowns. That's a lot for a high school player.
And he is also a player that has passed over 2,000 yards in his sophomore season. On his career, he has passed for 6,800 yards. He could pass 7,000 career yards here this evening. On the other side, though, for Yorktown, Mason Moulton, the young guy, the sophomore, has actually passed for more yards than his senior counterpart on the other side of the field.
I saw that when I was doing the stat study. Although he's down in touchdowns, he's only had 15. But still a great accomplishment for a sophomore kid. And he's a good-looking guy out there. I was watching there with warm-ups on the field, and he's a really, really good-looking kid for the young age that he is.
Taking a look at the tail of the tape here, Coach. Both teams in this matchup looking for a win to go into sectional play just a week from today, but the Marauders, they have won 7 straight games. They are 7-1 on the season, averaging 43 points a game. Needless to say, this is a juggernaut in the Marauders that the Yorktown Tigers are going to have to try and fixate here this evening.
Yeah, and if you look at the stats, they're very balanced in yards passing per game as well as the rushing. And when a team can do that, you've got a great shot at winning.
Mount Vernon will kick things off here to start this contest here in Fortville, Indiana. It is a crisp, cloudy, overcast night, a little rain possible, but we'll see as this game plays off as we are underway here in Fortville, and it will be taken immediately here by Yorktown, and it will be taken out of bounds there by Max Hayes of Yorktown. That's going to be looks like Luke Wilhelm also probably on that one as well. But bottom line is this: we now get to see Mason Moulton, as you see there, under the sophomore quarterback, going to be getting his first whack at this defensive front of Mount Vernon here this evening.
The Mount Vernon defense will come after you now. They'll get after you in every which way they can and play a lot of different coverages, but they'll come after you blitzing 1, 2, 3 linebackers.
Moulton is going in the gun and quickly trying to dump it off and checks it down to his running back, and going right down the sideline is going to be Jalen Thomas.
Nice play call there by Coach Wilhelm. He said he's going to run a lot of screens tonight for Yorktown. One way to beat the pressure up front is to offset it by running screens, and he threw a nice little running back screen that gained 15-some yards.
Thomas the second leading rusher on, they're actually the leading rusher on this team. He has 347 yards on the ground, and he gets the call this time again, and this time he goes nowhere, only a gain of maybe a yard.
Yeah, not much there. Looked like Mount Vernon had that play stopped before it got going in its trenches there, and again, Mount Vernon will be tough to block up front. And with the linebacker LaBelle in there, there'll be tough sledding in there for the run.
Second down and a long 8 here for Yorktown. Back to pass, dumping it down to the tight end. That's going to be Carter Lovelace. His 25th catch of the year. He has over 290 yards receiving along with 4 touchdowns this season.
He's a good-looking kid. He's 6'3", he's 230, and good-looking tight end kid. And a nice throw by the quarterback. Nice overhand delivery, and he's a tall kid, and he's pretty impressive here so far.
Ball is at midfield. Call it 3rd down and 4. Hard count here from Moulton. Snap finally comes, looking to the left side. Coming back to it is the receiver Morrow, but it's just a little over his head and out of bounds, bringing up 4th down.
Yeah, Mount Vernon went to a true man-free concept there, and Yorktown tried to beat him on a fade route where Morrow just overthrew and out of bounds on the receiver end there.
So they give up a 1st down, but then they stall him right at midfield here, Coach. So a good, needless to say, a good defensive start here for Mount Vernon.
Yeah, and then again, Yorktown's just got to punt it down there and play the field position here. No mistakes on the special teams here.
So back to punt it away here will be Carter Lovelace. He gets it away, and it will take a bounce out of bounds. Looks like they'll put that right at the 10, maybe the 9-yard line. Call it the 12-yard line. 13, maybe the 14 and the 15. They're going to keep walking it back before they get to the 16-yard line. So that is where Mount Vernon will get their offensive strides going here with Garrick Schlunaker, the quarterback, the senior, who has passed for nearly 7,000 career passing yards, as we highlighted in the pregame. But as you also mentioned, Coach, even talking off air, you're going to want to look out for Keegan LaBelle out of the backfield.
Yeah, without a doubt. Again, very balanced offensive attack by Mount Vernon. And, again, they got some great speed on the outside with these wideouts also.
Schlunaker in the pistol. Takes the snap, is going to hand off to LaBelle. He sheds a tackle, almost sheds another one to the outside, but he is able to sweep his way forward for a gain of about 4 yards.
This is a good inside zone there. Brought the tight end across the lead up in there, and a good cut to the outside by LaBelle, and ran through one potential tackler, but the cornerback there, number 28, made the play. Adam Morrow for the stop.
On the end around, going right up the field here this time. Back inside, and can't quite get a feed on the number there. It looks like that may have been, that's Ashton Gentry.
Yeah, he's been a force for them. He's got over 550, 580 yards. But again, nice play, well blocked. The receiver there made a nice block to free him on the corner.
That's the longest run of the season for Gentry. He's only had 10 carries all season long. Make that his 11th right there. This time they give it back to LaBelle. He cuts right back up the middle. No, that's actually going to be Trayvon Hegler. And you're going to be seeing a lot of different players get their hands on the ball out of the backfield, but we have a flag on the play as we take a look at the replay.
Yeah, 30 and 32, they kind of blend together out there with the black uniforms. It's getting tough to point that one out. You're right, but Trayvon Hegler and Keegan LaBelle are two backs that will rotate in there and get the ball probably pretty evenly as we go through the evening.
So it's a penalty on the Marauders. It's going to be a hold on them, so that will negate the long run there from Trayvon Hegler. And instead it will back them up 10 yards from the previous spot. And so put that now at about the 43-yard line on the Yorktown side of the football field, mind you.
They get trips into the boundary here. It'll be interesting to see, and then they're going to motion a guy out. I see.
Sloonacre back to pass for the first time tonight, looking over the right side, caught by his receiver, and again they're going to hit Gentry, I believe. And nope, that's actually going to be George Burhen with his 17th catch of the year.
George is a tall kid. He's a big guy, running a little play action, faked the run the inside zone one way, and the quarterback got back set and fired a crossing route to George.
So a pickup of about 8 yards on the play. Sloonacre again to pass, dumps it off to Burhen again, and this time careens his way downfield, gets to the 10 before he is tackled out of bounds.
Yeah, the corners there for Yorktown have got to do a better job of wrapping up. They're making great hits initially, but they're not wrapping up, and the Mt Vernon guys are just running through some of the tackles there. So they got to shore that up, and I'm sure Coach will have a talk with them when they get to the sideline.
Quick snap again, this time to LaBelle. He tries to cut it back inside, keeps his feet moving, and gets just inside the 5-yard line to make it second down and short with the goal to go.
Good inside run there. Bounced it outside a little bit, heading upfield. His shoulders are to the goal line, and I tell you, he's a tough runner.
Keegan LaBelle has wrestled in the past. He also is a pole vaulter on the track team during the springtime. Handoff again up the middle into the end zone. Touchdown for the Marauders. That is Eli Bridenthal.
They got a lot of guys, a lot of weapons there. A lot of people touched the football during that drive. And you can see we've had probably 4 or 5 guys on Mt Vernon on their offensive end that touched the football.
That is Bridenthal's first rushing touchdown of the season, as the Marauders appearing to be going for 2 here. And they can't get that one down there as Yorktown has that one well covered. So it is going to be a 6-0 score here with the clock stopped at 7:54. An excellent drive nonetheless, though, by the Marauders to start things off.
Good job again playing Marauder football, mixing in the pass and the run. Here's the touchdown on a little Z sweep coming around the outside there, cutting it back up in there. Eli Bridenthal for the touchdown.
This is a Marauders squad that averages are just shy of 200 yards rushing per contest, as well as going about 198 yards through the air. So a balanced attack nonetheless. You saw that on display on that particular drive there. But now if you're Yorktown, what do you try to do to respond?
I think they just have to get first downs. Don't have to get it all in one bunch. Just keep moving the football. Try to control the game by getting first downs and not worry about the scoreboard so much, but just take control of the game and get first downs here as they get this next possession.
The Marauders, under the tutelage of first-year head coach Vince Leidy. He was a defensive coordinator under Coach Kirshner a year ago. Of course, Coach Kirshner building this Marauders program into a contender in the HHC over his 3 years since 2018. You see Yorktown now taking the ball, and they will get it back at about the 32-yard line. Meanwhile, the Yorktown Tigers, they're under Mike Wilhelm, who is an even 591-91 in his 17th season as the head coach of the Tigers.
Yes, you can give balance, right? I tell you, Mt Vernon's doing some different things with the kickoff. They're pooching it left, right, and I don't know if Yorktown's got a great return guy, but they are doing some different things with that kickoff.
So Yorktown setting up here at the 31. Faking the handoff. Now it actually is to Thomas, and he sweeps to the right side for a gain of about 5.
It's just an outside zone play, and again, Jalen Thomas is their leading ball carrier there. He's got 300 and some yards, a couple of touchdowns to his credit. So they gain 4 yards. Again, just keep it going and keep controlling the football here. First downs.
Trying to nickel and dime their way down the field. Second down and a long 6. Again, the handoff is to Thomas. He tries to get to the outside, but the Marauders' linebacking core has that well covered right there. as you see Kellen LaBelle, the younger brother of Keegan LaBelle, in there on the tackle.
Yeah, I think Coach Lighty really likes those LaBelle kids. They're tough kids, and both are really good players, doing a good job of setting the edge, and got them in a third and manageable for Yorktown, and we'll see what happens here. But they need the first down to keep the drive going.
They gave Jalen Thomas a yard gained right there, 3rd down and 5. Moulton looking long, trying to find his receiver, and no flag on the play, and they're going to say that was fair ball, and it is incomplete, and a 3 and out here for Yorktown.
Yeah, they pressured the quarterback up the gut there and went to man coverage again. I think the same thing they ran on the last 3rd down, brought both inside linebackers, and one came unattended to, and got pressure on the quarterback real quick where he had to get rid of it right away. Again, not a great set for the Tigers there. They need to control the ball a little bit more before having going 3 and outs here.
They've only completed one pass tonight. That was the one to Jalen Thomas for a 1st down. And this is a Yorktown team that averages just over 200 yards passing per contest. So not being able to do what they do best here this evening, as Lovelace is able to bounce that punt right around the 30-yard line. And this time they'll have a little bit better field position, will the Marauders, but still they started further back last time, and they didn't seem to have any problems getting downfield.
No, they're directional punting. I think they're trying to keep it away from the return guys of Mt Vernon, who I believe Avery Williams was back there, and he's got some wheels to him. And, again, trying to directional punt, keeping away from them and not getting the yardage that they need to get. But, again, sacrifice a little bit of yardage for no return.
And you talk about the speed of this Mt Vernon squad. I mean, and that's all part of, obviously, Coach Lighty talking about. I talked to him earlier this week about how he wants to build off of the foundation that Coach Kirshner left. As you see, Keegan LaBelle used some of that speed to get right up the gut and get shoestring tackled for a big 1st down right at the 50-yard line.
Keegan LaBelle on the carry.
Yeah, they split them up front. I think they had a guard pull. I didn't quite get the play there, but looked like they had a inside zone play with a guard pulling around, and LaBelle hit it up in there and split the defense. There he is. He's knocking out the D-end, and LaBelle taking it up in there.
Sloonacre this time handing it off to Hegler again, it appears, and he sweeps it around for a gain of about 6. And once again, as I was talking about, they're actually going to say they actually gave that ball to Burnhen, it looks like, for a carry.
Yeah, they're bringing some of those wideouts around on those jet sweeps there and giving them the ball and trying to run a little misdirection with LaBelle in the backfield.
That's Burnhen's 4th carry of the season. He also has a rushing touchdown to his credit. Throwing a lot of different barriers at this defense is this offensive set as they chip it outside this time. And once again, that's going to be Ashton Gentry getting corralled down for a Marauder 1st down.
Gentry's a guy that can run a little bit. I had Mt Vernon early in the season, and he showed some wheels on a couple of plays that he had. A lot of respect by the corner there for Yorktown, giving Gentry some room to catch the ball.
1st down and 10 here for Mt Vernon. On the sweep this time, turning it upfield is LaBelle, keeping his wheels moving, gets down inside of the 15. And it just seems to me like whenever they start swarming these guys, they just find some way to just keep things moving and getting extra yardage. So a big 1st down there for the Marauders. And quickly, they bring it around again. This time it's Hegler, keeping inside, still going up, reaches for the end zone. Is he in? Yes, he is! Touchdown, Mt Vernon! Trayvon Hegler with the sweeping legs afterwards puts the Marauders up by 12.
He's a physical runner, isn't he? He really ran through some tackles, ran over some guys, and again, good job by the guys up front. They're opening up some gaps and getting that runner all the way to the back end. But again, a good, powerful run, good finish run.
And he just stayed upright and reached as they go for 2 once again. looking to the end zone and nothing doing there, but there is a flag, and they're going to call pass interference, I believe. So a flag on the play here on the two-point conversion attempt.
Now, Coach Laddie's going to use up all his two-point plays here early in the game. That's the second one that had a different formation and a different play to it. But again, obviously he's trying to try out some things and maybe set the tone for the tournament coming up. You never know what they're, in terms of giving people some things to work on where they're just not lining up and kicking the ball every time. They'll go for two again here.
And so they will try once again. This time they only move it up just a few inches, though. It's only going to be half the distance to the goal. But they get another try here at the two-point conversion. Sloonacre under center. And now another flag. They might get Yorktown, or rather Mount Vernon, for a false start here. Or no, it's going to be against Yorktown. They may get them offsides.
Yeah, it looked like the end on the right side of Yorktown's defense jumped there a little bit.
There it is right there. Then he lined up as the ball was snapped. He was offsides. So give them a few more inches in penalty yardage.
Can't get it any closer, I don't think. They'll probably sneak it here.
Sloonacre,
Nope.
Quick handoff inside. And are they going to say it is? Yes, it is good for a two-point conversion, as the handoff was to Keegan LaBelle. That makes it 14-0. So they make up at least 1 point lost on the previous conversion. As you take a look at the replay, just a nice, easy punch-in right here from the senior running back.
He's a powerful kid. It's going to be hard to stop him from inches away from the goal line. But another good drive by Mount Vernon, mixing in the pass and the run. That's Mount Vernon. I mean, the statistics bear it out. Very balanced offensively with the run and the pass. So, again, I'm anxious to see what they're going to do with this kickoff here. They've been pooching it and making it some different types of kicks against Yorktown.
And I started alluding to it earlier in that drive, but just the foundation and the speed foundation that Coach Kirshner left here at Mount Vernon before going to Warren Central. He made it a point to get kids in the weight room and start building up athleticism and building up speed. And it seems to me that is a big legacy that he has left here for Coach Vince Leidy to take over here, and they have certainly shown their wheels here this evening.
Without a doubt. Good job by Mike. He's a good football coach, a good fundamental guy, and going to get things done.
Ethan Yaley pooches it. It's going to be corralled there by Yorktown, as you see Blair Webster just kind of bring that one down. And it's an interesting call right there to go it a little bit short. It's almost like they're forcing them to maybe try and, mishandle the ball right there and maybe try and steal one away from them.
Yeah, they're hitting some soft spots in the return team's alignment there a little bit. I think the first two times they went outside the hash. This time they're in between the hash marks and kind of pooched it down there to the 28, and that's where it is.
Yorktown going to try and get something on the board here as they are down early. Handoff once again is to Thomas. He finds a hole in the defensive line there of Yorktown, but the defensive backfield is quickly there to plug it back up. He gains about 3 yards.
Yeah, good job up front for Yorktown, picking up all the slants and movement from Mount Vernon's defense. But again, there's that LaBelle guy scraping and making a play. I tell you, they have a good scheme there to keep that kid free, and he makes the plays.
Keegan LaBelle, the leading rusher on the offense, but also the leading tackler on defense for Mount Vernon. Handoff is the other way here for Yorktown. That goes nowhere, as you see Aiden Ewing getting his hands on the ball for the first time tonight.
Yeah, good job by the outside part of that defense. They're not letting them outside the box there. They have more success running up the middle between the two tackles than they do hitting the outside so far.
You see them trying to run the ball an awful lot here, Coach. When do you think you start going to the air?
Oh, I just think they're trying to get first downs and trying to split Mount Vernon's defense.
They go to the air this time. And over the middle they go. It's caught by his tight end. A big catch there by Joey Hazen, actually, the wide receiver. And that gets it close there here to about a 4th down and 5. So still not enough to get the first down, but you're going to probably see, once again, a punting situation for Yorktown.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was 3rd and long, and the receiver didn't get to the sticks. He's got to get a yard past the sticks and come back and get the football like he did. Made a great catch. He just didn't get deep enough on his route.
So Hazen, who is the one who put that one down, takes a seat as Lovelace will put the ball away. It's muffed there by Williams. He picks it back up, though, has to backtrack. A flag on the play. They might get the Marauders for a holding penalty there as Williams goes to the other side of the field and is corralled down at the 40-yard line, but we'll check the flag. It looks like it may have been a hold on Mount Vernon.
Yeah, that's what they didn't want to do, is kick it to Williams. The first 2 punts they kicked out of bounds, and this time I think the punter got a little greedy, and instead of he did a nice job directional kick, keeping it outside the hash mark into the corner. But again, that Williams kid, he can move a little bit. I saw them against New Pal, as I said before, and he made some big plays in the kicking game against the Dragons.
So call it an illegal block in the back, actually, on Mount Vernon. Either way, it's a penalty against the Marauders, so that will back them up a few yards from the spot of the foul. So this will be their worst starting position of the night. But as I've said before here, Coach, starting position hasn't really been that much of a thorn in the side of this Mount Vernon attack this evening.
No, it's they've done a good job of controlling the football game so far, both with the run and the pass here. I'm anxious to see how they work themselves out of their own red zone here, working themselves out.
So it's going to be first down here for Mount Vernon. Sloonacre over the middle, tipped up, nearly intercepted there by Webster. Instead, it goes down incomplete.
Nice play there by the defensive kid for Yorktown, 34, I believe, and he did a nice job.
That's Luke Wilhelm.
Is it? Luke Wilhelm did a nice job of sitting in that curl area. I think Slooniger tried to force that one, and the Yorktown player almost had the pick.
Sloonacre looking for Gavin Muhlenkamp that time. This time they hand it off the other side of the field, and it's going to be a big first down for Mount Vernon. And once again, it is Keegan LaBelle on the carry. Actually, no, that's going to be Eli Breidenthal.
Yeah, they threw a little screen out there, a little screen. I think they got a flag on the play again. Might have another penalty against Mount Vernon.
And so backing them up yet again. So penalties shooting the Marauders in the foot on this drive. It's going to be illegal formation on Mount Vernon, so that will back them up a few more yards, put them inside of their own 10-yard line, I believe.
Yeah, I think they had receiver covered up on the outside, and you can't do that, obviously. And the referee on the sideline caught it and flagged them for it. And so the Marauders got to start all over again.
So the ball moves to the 9-yard line, and it's going to be second down and 15 yards officially. And if Yorktown can get a stop right here, that's certainly something big that can give them a little bit of momentum going into their next drive.
Be huge field position-wise.
Sloonacre feels the pressure, checks it down to his running back. Going right up the middle this time is going to be Hegler. Trayvon Hegler going down the sideline, and he is going to take it all the way to the end zone. Touchdown, Mount Vernon. Trayvon Hegler, 91 yards to the house.
Great play there by the Mount Vernon offense, setting up a screen pass. They let the rush come in, and Slooniger did a nice job of holding the ball and let it set up. You can see there's 1, 2, 3 linemen out there making some key blocks. Hegler made one kid miss, but that's about all he had to do because the lineman did a great job of getting out there in front and some plays.
Officially, that is a touchdown pass for Garrick Sloanaker as well, his 21st of the season, and give him 91 passing yards on that play alone, as this time they kick the PAT, and it is good by Ethan Yaley, his 20th PAT of the season out of 21 attempted, so he has a good percentage in that regard as well. Needless to say, though, here, Coach, an excellent start for Mount Vernon, putting up 21 points here in the first half.
Yeah, they're exciting, and they have the skilled kids to do it, and also with the up front. They're controlling the line of scrimmage, both sides, both offensively and defensively. They're controlling both sides of the football here up front, a little bit more physical along the line of scrimmage, and not giving a lot of room for Yorktown to do much offensively yet. So Yorktown still got to keep trying to run the football. I mean, they just can't wholesale sell out and start throwing the ball all over the place. I think they just got to keep battling here and trying to get first downs. And, again, like I said earlier, don't worry about the scoreboard. Just get first downs and see what happens after that.
Mount Vernon leads the overall series between these two squads dating back the last 35 years. 24-10 are the Marauders in that time span. They have won the last 6 games against Yorktown dating back to 2014. As Yaley puts a long boot into it, and it's going to be fielded here by Thomas. And Thomas will try to shed it to the outside, keeps his feet under him, still going out to about the 35.
That was a good return. I tell you, that's probably why they were trying to pooch it earlier. The return man for Yorktown, Jalen Thomas there, he's got some wheels. Did a nice job there hitting it up one way and then breaking it out to the outside, and got a couple missed tackles by Mount Vernon. But, again, nice return for the Tigers here. Good field position. Again, let's take advantage of it and get some first downs.
Ball at the 36 officially. First down and 10 here for Yorktown. Back to pass. Moulton intercepted. And it's going to be Eli Bridenthal, and it's going to be a pick 6 for the junior. Touchdown, Mount Vernon. And that just goes from bad to worse here for Yorktown.
Yeah, young mistake there. He kind of eyeballed the receiver the whole way, and Eli did a nice job of sitting on it, and then jumping the route and picking it and taking it in for 6. So, again, very nice play by the defensive back on the outcut there. The pass was a little bit behind him, in fairness to the receiver and everybody involved. But, again, the quarterback's got to put it out in front. And, again, the room for error against this Mount Vernon team is real slight. So, again, kicker missed the extra point there.
So that goes no good for Yaley. And so that is going to be his second miss on a PAT, but still, nonetheless, you're up 27-0 right now. Not a huge thing to think about right there, but nevertheless, you're up 27-0 early. An excellent start here for Mount Vernon, and not only are you building up a lot of good momentum and just a good confidence here in this game, but keep in mind, you're making sure you have everything all battened down for when the state tournament starts a week from now.
Yeah, I'm sure they won't right away, but they'll get some other kids some goes here so that they're prepared and have some game experience. But Yorktown's got to keep their chins up and keep battling. And, I keep going back to this because I've been in some of these situations again where it's tough early. You just got to get first downs, and don't worry about the scoreboard. Again, that's easier said than done.
Absolutely. First pick 6 of the season for Eli Bridenthal on that previous go there for Yorktown.
I believe he had a touchdown also, didn't he, on one of the Z reverses maybe?
He did. He had that touchdown earlier tonight.
Yeah, right.
So he has 2 scores.
Good
2
player.
scores for Eli Bridenthal and 2 touchdowns as well for Trayvon Hegler. So each player scoring tonight for Mount Vernon is doing it in pairs. As the long kick, this time going to be fielded here by Yorktown. That's Colton Nankel. And he gets corralled back at about the 23-yard line.
You can see the special team units, even of Mount Vernon, are amped up, and they had 5 men on the tackle there, doing a good job. The kicker did a nice job putting the ball down there, and not a strong leg, but good enough, good height in there to allow the team to get underneath it and cover.
And those of you who may be wondering about the running clock rule, keep in mind we are still only in the first quarter, and the running clock rule of 35 or more doesn't go into effect until the second half, as you see a pass and catch from Moulton over the middle to Lovelace.
Yeah, nice first down play, mixing it up a little bit, and with the pass and the run. Got it to second and short. Now they just, again, like I said, just keep getting first downs.
It'll be 2nd and 2 for the Tigers.
Of course, Yorktown still just trying to work on getting something done here as they get now to second and short. That was a gain of 8 on the previous play. Hazen sent in motion. Moulton, feeling the pressure, checks it down to Thomas, and he's immediately met in the backfield by Keegan LaBelle.
He's a smart player also. They read the screen pass, saw the tailback getting out there late to the right of the offense and beat the lineman's block there and made a great shoulder tackle and drove his feet and got the tailback down.
So that backs them up about 4 yards as we tick inside of a minute here in the first quarter. Moulton has his tight end again, and that's Lovelace, close to a first down, and he does get it. So a good pitch and catch right there for 6 yards and a first down.
Good job. Good throw and catch, one-on-one, made a nice play. That time he got enough yardage on his route to get the first down.
And he seems to enjoy giving it here to Carter Lovelace. That's now the 5th time he's targeted the tight end this evening.
He's a big target, and he's matched up with the outside linebacker safety kid for Mount Vernon.
Short pass, shedded there by Nankel, keeping his feet under him and falls forward for a gain of about 5.
Nice play by Colton Nankel there, shedding the first tackler and fighting for extra yardage. And, hey, it's just like a run play. That little short pass there, they gained 5 yards and got it to 2nd and 5.
Nanko, the leading receiver, as we tick down to the second quarter. Well, it's been all Mount Vernon here in quarter number 1. Quarter number 2 coming at you in just a little bit here on 9 Star TV.
When moving into a new home, we ask ourselves questions like, who is the best internet provider in town? Well, have you considered locally owned 9 Star Connect? We've become the fastest, most reliable, and dedicated fiber-to-the-home internet company in central Indiana. Our internet packages have been modified, and we are changing speeds at a more competitive price. So give us a look. Visit us at 9starconnect.com. 9 Star is a different kind of company, and the difference is you.
Senior night here in Fortville as the Mount Vernon Marauders have a huge lead out of the first quarter, 27-0. One of those being a pick 6 from Eli Breidenthal, who also has an offensive touchdown, as well as 2 touchdowns from Trayvon Hegler. Alongside Coach Bob Bartolomeo, I'm Kurt Darling. Thank you for joining us tonight here on the final night of the regular season here at IHSAA football season before we get ready for the state tournament. And right now, Yorktown working an offensive drive as they try to salvage a little bit of something, and that's certainly not going to help things as the snap goes over the head of Mason Moulton. He gets it back and then takes the sack.
Oh, that's a tough break for Yorktown, boy. They just had a nice first down completion where they gained 5 yards, got it to second and manageable, and then they had a miscue on the snap. And the quarterback 6'3", so it was over. It was a little bit tall. He's got to still grab that, but, again, tough play. 3rd and long.
And on the sack there, Max Hayes, his 3rd sack of the season. Moulton going long this time, can't get his receiver as he was looking for Adam Morrow. He was well covered by Avery Williams of Mount Vernon.
Well, Mount Vernon gets in your face there, and even on 3rd and forever, and playing that man coverage and coming after him and getting pressure. There's one of the D linemen for Mount Vernon. Looked like Ray Wells trying to put pressure on the quarterback. And, again, hang on here, because if they kick it to Williams, he can go.
So 2 men in the backfield here for Mount Vernon, as you see Ashton Gentry along with Avery Williams back to return this punt. As Hazen, it's a high skying punt, and it goes out of bounds right at the 42-yard line. And so now you have Mount Vernon coming back out here for another offensive drive, but with excellent field position, and that's not something that you want to give up if you're Yorktown at this stage.
No, they needed to get a first down, and again, they had it 2nd and 5, and then the snap over the quarterback's head put them in 3rd and forever, and they tried to throw the streak route and, just weren't able to get open enough to make the play.
And you mentioned, as we were talking off air before the game tonight, about how young this Yorktown squad is. You have your sophomore quarterback, your sophomore running back, a junior wide receiver, but you only have 2 seniors on the defensive front line, and other than that, you just have juniors and sophomores on this young Yorktown roster. As you see the little floater right up the middle to LaBelle, and it'll be just for a gain of about a few yards. And actually on that carry was Gentry, as just a little push up the gut there by Gentry. But still, you have this Yorktown squad that's still young and still kind of rebuilding, but also talking to Coach Wilhelm earlier this week, he said that they're in the middle of a culture change after they won that sectional title back in 2014, and they're still going through that right now.
Doing a good job. I mean, they're getting after it. They're playing hard.
Sloanaker has his receiver through double coverage. That is Ashton Gentry. Touchdown, Marauders. 33-0 now for Mount Vernon. That is Sloanaker's 2nd touchdown pass of the evening, and Ashton Gentry's 9th touchdown through the air of the season.
They got some folks now. They do a good job of isolating that receiver out there on splitting the zone coverage, and again, they have some people that can run at the skilled position.
Going to try and go for 2 here are the Marauders once again. Sloanaker looking to the corner of the end zone, and this time they have their man down inside, and the 2-point conversion is good. It looks like that was Gentry once again on the catch. 35-0 here in the first half. And once again, as I mentioned earlier, folks, is the fact that the 35-point benchmark has been reached, but we will not have a running clock until the second half.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yorktown, again, they just got to settle down and try to get something going before halftime here, get a drive of some sort, maybe make a big play on a special team where they can break one here on the kickoff and try to get something going from that standpoint to give them some juice, to get them going. And, again, give credit to Mount Vernon, though. They're playing their game, and, they're going to play tough, I'm sure, through the first half with their starters, and they got to keep going and get ready for the tournament next week.
Yorktown has drawn North Montgomery, who is playing number 6 Danville tonight at home, which will be a big matchup for them tonight.
Yep, Mount Vernon draws Pendleton Heights, right, as their tournament first foe.
So Yaley puts his boot into it. It's fielded by Thomas. He tries to cut it to the outside and gets up close to the 40. Gets down to about the 35-yard line. And you mentioned Mount Vernon. They draw Pendleton Heights. They beat the Arabians 43-0 as you take a look at the sectional 21 bracket right here for Mount Vernon. Pretty much a lot of teams right here are many teams that Mount Vernon can easily handle getting into this sectional tournament.
I'd say they'll be a tough out because they have it all. They got a good offense, a good defense, good special teams, and great coaching. So, again, they'll be a tough out in terms of tournament time. I like this 27. That's Jalen Thomas kid for Yorktown. He's got some wheels. He's only a sophomore. He's made 2 nice returns on the kickoff. And
now the handoff is to Thomas. Correction, that's going to be Aiden Ewing on the carry, and he has a nice run for a gain of 10 yards and right at the first down marker.
Again, another sophomore. They're young guys up there. I think I counted 10 total seniors on the Yorktown team compared to 22 for Mount Vernon. So that makes a big difference in high school, and as it does in any football setting where your older kids are more mature, guys that have been through the wars a little bit. Just makes a big difference.
This is a Marauders squad that has not allowed a single point in the last 3 games.
Take a lot of pride in it, too. Here they come.
Moulton looking for his tight end over the middle, and good coverage there by Luke Heiner of Mount Vernon as you saw Moulton looking for Lovelace once again.
Yeah, they ran a little crossing route trying to get the man coverage, trying to get some rubs, so to speak, in the middle there. Can't use that word pick as it's legal, but rub routes in terms of the underneath by the crossers.
As you see right there, Pendleton Heights, Newcastle, and Shelbyville, the last 3 games that they have played, all goose eggs for their opponents. As you get the carry right up the gut once again for Yorktown, maybe a gain of a yard right there for Thomas. And once again, Ewing on the carry.
Big third down here. If they can keep going with some of this momentum here before halftime and sneak a score in, we could get some juice going for Yorktown.
Ball at the 45, third down and 9. Moulton checks down to his receiver, Ewing, and he gets tackled forward across midfield, and they're going to mark him down right at midfield, and it will be 4th down and 4. And once again, it's a little bit of decision time, but looks like once again it's another punting situation as we take a look at the replay here.
Good play here. It had all the makings of getting going and good screen play, but somebody from the back end came and made that play, circled back for Mount Vernon. They retraced their steps. You teach the linemen, once you recognize screen, to retrace your steps and go get the football.
Lovelace puts his boot into that one. It's muffed. It's a live ball. And who comes away with it? It's going to be Yorktown ball. A muffed punt on the return there. Looks like that may have been Gentry who couldn't get his hands on it the right way. And a big recovery by Yorktown and DJ Green, the 5'6" junior, on the special teams coverage.
Yeah, he just didn't look it in all the way, and again, bounced off of him, and give credit to Yorktown guy being right on top of the football and making the play. So
DJ Green with the recovery there gives Yorktown some new life here. First down. Looking to the outside, a bit of miscommunication there from Moulton as he was looking for Colton Nanko. May have gotten the ball off a little too early, or Nanko may have looked a little too late.
I think you hit it on the head. He had to get the ball off early. He was getting some heat from the down guys of Mount Vernon there on the pass play. So he had to get rid of the football and just didn't time up right with the receiver.
And this is a pass rush for Mount Vernon that has 20 total sacks on the season, so they certainly know how to get a lot of pressure on the quarterback when they want to. 2nd down and 10 here for Moulton. Over the middle, pass is complete to his receiver, and that time it is going to be Joey Hazen corralling the ball, his 8th catch of the year. And close to a first down. It's going to be about 3rd down and 2.
Definitely in 4th down territory here. So, again, you got 2 downs to get a first down for Yorktown. Nice little drive. Take advantage of the turnover here and make something happen.
Yorktown has no special place kicker to speak of. They have not attempted any field goals at all this season. So any scoring that's going to come from them, it's going to be in the end zone. Goal line set here, though, for Yorktown as they try to punch it up the gut, and it goes nowhere for the Tigers.
Yeah, they put a extra lineman in the backfield there, number 74. Put him in at the fullback spot. Jordan Childress, 6 foot 309 kid, try to lead up in there and run the isolation play.
Got a little bit of refrigerator action there.
He's a big boy.
Yes, he is.
And again, great job by Mount Vernon handling it. Got him to 4th down here.
But now if you're Yorktown, you are in a position to go for it on 4th down.
Oh, yeah.
And it looks like they may have gotten an encroachment on Yorktown or on Mount Vernon. And if so, that's an automatic 1st down with the penalty yardage.
I think
it's going to be a false start on Yorktown. Ew, that's a tough one to swallow right there if you're Yorktown.
Yeah, I know Coach Leidy's probably not going to be real happy with his group right now. Again, he don't want to play, make critical mistakes here. They don't want to, get sloppy in their play, so to speak.
I'm not sure, Coach, but I didn't see anybody move there for Mount Vernon.
I missed it, so I can't say.
For Yorktown, rather. And so either way, that's the call on the field, so that moves them back 5 yards.
I see the umbrellas coming out, so it might start drizzling here a little bit.
Just a little bit of rain starting to fall here in Fortville. What better way to end the season with a little bit of rain?
Oh, beautiful night. Great night for football.
Moulton looks over the middle. Almost caught and going to be dropped incomplete by Colton Nenko, but we have a flag in the defensive backfield once again here.
I'm going to say this one may go to against Yorktown with a pass interference against the offense. It looked like they ran a rub route, and the receiver tried to get out of the way, but it ended up blocking him. We'll see what the official calls here.
Pass interference on the offense, right on the head there, Coach. And and that's one of those tricky plays where if you're a receiver going to run one of those plays, you got to at least be able to sell it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're going to call that every time.
He got caught up with it with both receivers. Mount Vernon's playing a lot of man coverage, and so they're trying to rub one DB off of the other with the pattern that the 2 receivers are running. But it's a loss of downs, so Mount Vernon takes over.
So that's a turnover on downs officially, and so Mount Vernon will take over at the 24. Right up the gut goes LaBelle. Stiff arms to the outside, gets to the 50, down to the 30, down to the 20, down to the 10, push towards the pylon, and he is in for another Mount Vernon touchdown. Call it 74 yards, rather 76 yards by Keegan LaBelle, and the Mount Vernon Marauders have gone up 41-0, not even in the first quarter and a half of this ball game.
Yeah, nice play. Good opening hole there. A couple missed tackles on LaBelle there, but again, he made a break to the outside. I thought it was a great effort here at the end by the backside corner, number 28. Is that the tailback there?
That's Adam Morrow there.
Adam Morrow. What a great effort, son. Keep playing that. Keep playing hard. He's done that on every long touchdown where he's almost run down the guy scoring from the backside. He can run a little bit. And so, again, great effort from that kid's part of not giving up. But, again, great job by LaBelle. Good job by the offensive front for Mount Vernon. And they're doing a good job of controlling this football game at this point.
Ethan Yaley puts up the extra point once again, his second of the night out of 3 attempts. And that's going to be Keegan LaBelle's 9th touchdown of the season.
He turned on a little juice there.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's those Kirshner wheels that he had beat into him for the first 3 years of his career. And now keeping it going here as the rain still kind of falling here a little bit here in Mount Vernon. The regular season finale here for the Hoosier Heritage Conference and the IHSAA as we get ready for sectional play. And as we talked about earlier, Mount Vernon with a win tonight can clinch the HHC title outright, all by themselves, without having to share any of it with any other team in the conference. And the kickoff will sail into the end zone for a touchback. And Yorktown will bring it back out here to the 25.
They've kicked it every which way. And talking with Coach Leidy early in the week and previously, he said that they like to move it around when they're kicking off. They don't like to just line it up and kick it deep. The kid does a good job of placing the kickoff in different spots, and they have used that throughout the game here.
And so now if you're Yorktown, you just try and get at least some sort of rhythm going here to salvage something. Moulton over the middle this time. That's the previous play. They tried to get it last time down on the other side of the field to Nanko, and this time they're able to get it into his arms for a gain of 8.
Yeah, good job of running the one receiver up the field and the outside guy cutting underneath. It's a good man beater in terms of the route there.
Second down and short for Moulton. High snap. Handoff is to Thomas, and he is corralled from behind there. And it looks like that's once again Keegan LaBelle.
That was a great play. They really tried to spread Mount Vernon out. They had 3 receivers wide and to one side and 1 receiver to the other side, and tried to run it with the tailback there, and not successful. 3rd and long.
As the clock continues to roll here close to the 5-minute mark. Moulton has to shed off the pressure. Instead, he goes down for yet another Mount Vernon sack. And that time it's Owen Johnson on the sack there for Mount Vernon, the senior defensive end.
Good job again up front for Mount Vernon. They're just controlling the line of scrimmage and allowing backers to come through and beating blocks one-on-one.
That's going to be Johnson's 4th sack of the season. He has 4.5 sacks officially now. As once again, Yorktown will punt the ball away. And it's going to be a short punt, and it will take a Yorktown bounce out of bounds. And it will still be in plus territory here for Mount Vernon. And keep in mind, Coach, Mount Vernon, they've only played 6 quarters of football in the last 2 games. Keep in mind, the last game they had against Shelbyville on the road, it was a 49-0 rout, but that was in 2 quarters of play, and the reason why they could not keep on playing that game was because the field lights were rendered inoperable when they shut off suddenly. They couldn't get the lights back on. Of course, you can't play in the dark, so they had to call the game after 2 quarters.
I got you. I didn't know that. That's an interesting story. That happens out of the control of the Shelbyville maintenance group.
Pass falls incomplete there, looking for Breidenthal. And just kind of, getting a little feel for it. Garrick Sloonacre, he actually said that he thought the coaches were joking when they came in at halftime saying, "No, we're done, we're going home." He's like, "Wait, are you serious? We're only playing 2 quarters of football?" I was like, "Yeah, the lights won't come back on."
The kids, they work too hard not to play the game. That's why you got to let them play some, because they're busting their tails 12 months a year to play these football games on Friday night. So it means the world to them.
Sloonacre, long pass complete to Burhen, and that's inside the red zone.
I'm sure Mount Vernon's, they're not trying to run it up. I think they're trying to work on things for the tournament. Some routes, some protections, other things that offensively and defensively to give their opponents some new looks.
Sloonacre this time hands the ball off. This time, Trayvon Hegler, it appears, is corralled right at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, they pulled backside guard and tackle and came around there and tried to run it up in the middle, and to not a lot of success. Good job by the Yorktown defense of stuffing it up in there.
Second down, Sloonacre right into the end zone. Eli Breidenthal for his 3rd touchdown of the night. That makes it 48-0 in the first half.
Yeah, he just beat the corner one-on-one. He gave him a lot of room to the inside, to the post route, and Eli took advantage of that. Is that touchdown number 3 for Eli tonight?
Indeed it is, Coach. 2 on offense, 1 on defense.
He's had a great night. Yeah, good for him.
As Ethan Yaley out, and it's a mishandled snap, but they get it through the uprights nonetheless, making it his 3rd PAT of the night here for Ethan Yaley. 49-0. So that makes it 2 games in a row, Coach, that Mount Vernon has put up 49 points to nothing in the first half.
They're a good football team. They're going to be hard to knock out in the tournament. They do a good job. They're well coached. They're in position to make plays. Both offense and defensive lines do a nice job of controlling it. And, again, this is my 2nd time having them, and they've done this both times where they've piled on the points and played great defense along with it. They only have had 1 miscue on the special teams that gave Yorktown some life there when he fumbled the punt.
And so Mount Vernon going to kick the ball away here again. And now, as you see the cheerleaders down there on the track here for Mount Vernon, they have to do high steps for every point that's on the scoreboard. So needless to say, they're getting a little bit of a workout tonight by proxy of the football team.
Get the cardio in.
Long push there from Yaley, taken by Thomas. Thomas trying to get to the outside and is instead tackled out of bounds at about the 20. So 3:26 left. Rather 3:27 left here in this ball game. If you're Yorktown, just try to get something here. Otherwise, you just, what else can you do at this point?
Hey, you get to halftime, regroup. That's all. But again, Yorktown seems like a broken record. But don't look at the scoreboard, boys. Just get first downs and just keep playing your game. And you can't worry about the score. There's nothing you can do about that right now, but you can get first downs and work on your job as a football player here. Whatever that is in this offensive set, do the best you can and get better. That's all you can do.
Moulton's pass goes right through the hands of Carter Lovelace.
Yeah, they got to start making some plays. The quarterback, he's got to put it on them, and these guys that have opportunities to make catches got to make some catches. So, again, up front, they got to block them a little better and, just play a little better football.
Moulton with some time that time. Again on a little quick in route there. This time it's completed to his receiver.
It's Colton Nako, I think he's the leading receiver. He's got like 45 catches coming into the football game. That's quite a bit.
Looking for Lovelace again for a first down yardage. Nothing doing there. And it'll be another 3 and out for Yorktown. Just cannot get any kind of rhythm at all on offense, can the Tigers.
No, the quarterback's got to set his feet, and I think he got a little jumpy there. He didn't have to, and he had a receiver that was somewhat open for a first down, and he just missed him. And, again, that's part of being a sophomore, and he's got to learn to fight through that and, plant his feet and throw it on the money.
And talking with Coach Wilhelm earlier this week, that's one thing that he said that he's actually improved on this week. When he was a freshman, he would tend to panic and just kind of get rid of the ball when things started collapsing around him. You saw a little bit of that right there.
Yeah, he's still a young kid. I mean, he's still learning and growing. And again, you can't blame him. He's getting hit a lot out there, from the defensive front and linebackers of Mount Vernon. But again, got to try to salvage the first half here by not letting them score another one.
Another punt here from Joey Hazen. It's muffed again, but this time Mount Vernon is able to fall on top of it right at the 46-yard line. So if there's anything to ding Mount Vernon on here right now, it might be a little bit of sloppy special teams play here down the stretch.
Yeah, that's what Coach Leidy, I'm sure, will harp on at halftime is, hey, play our game, do your job, and don't be getting sloppy in your techniques and those types of things there. He probably should have fair caught that because of the shortness of the punt. He should have just got the hand going and taken the ball right where it was anyways. But anyways, he's a guy that likes to make plays. I think that was Avery Williams again, excuse me. And again, he's a guy that can make some plays happen.
Sloonacre looking outside, and it's juggled and corralled by Gentry, and he's tackled for maybe a gain of 2.
Yeah, he caught it twice, as they say. He knocked it up in the air and made the catch. But again, the biggest thing is he made the catch. He stayed with it, and again, did a nice job with it.
Sloonacre hands the ball off now, and taken out of bounds right there.
It's a good job by the corner in 13. Nenko is the leading receiver playing corner also. He came up, made the play on the outside run, and didn't give him an inch there. Good job. Good series here for Yorktown. Like to see him finish this series and get out before halftime.
Trayvon Hegler there on the carry. Sloonacre hands it off to LaBelle, has a hole up the middle. Lots of running room, getting close to the end zone. Instead, he's tackled at about the 10-yard line. Keegan LaBelle just shows such explosiveness right out of the backfield once he gets the ball in his hands.
He's a good athlete. You said he was involved with some other things in terms of the spring, but here's that guard coming around and blocking the middle linebacker there, and Keegan just ran by the up front and got into the secondary and did a nice job.
LaBelle on the carry again, and he punches it right up the middle into the end zone for another touchdown here for Mount Vernon. Keegan LaBelle's second of the evening, 55-0 here in the first half.
Yeah, I'd say that's it for them. You won't see these guys in the second half, I'm sure. Coach Leidy will pull the troops there and play some of the younger kids. But, again, like I said, hey, they practiced and they got to get ready for the tournament. So, it's tough. It really is to make that call as a head coach when you're up like this and doing a great job against an opponent. What goes around comes around, so you'll be in that spot at some time, I'm sure. But you hope you never are. But, again, good job by Mount Vernon just getting after them. And so this is a clear case for the running clock. This is talk about it, and I think they're even talking about doing it for basketball. I read that.
They actually did just adopt that rule this week, Coach. It will be for basketball as well. Same rule. Once a team is up by 35 points in the second half, that is when the running clock starts, even when the ball is dead. Unless a timeout is called by any team. It's the same thing that you'll see here coming up in the second half here once we get to halftime.
Yeah, I think that's the right way to do it. I mean, there's no sense of embarrassing these kids. And again, they're not, it's tough. It's tough. Yorktown's a 3A school playing in a 4A league, and that's difficult. You can use that for an excuse, but it does make a difference in terms of numbers, in terms of, how many different types of athletes you can get out for your football team.
Well, and Yorktown has won a conference title in this league before, though, as the small school. In fact, that came back in 1999 when they shared it with Mount Vernon. As you take a look at the conference standings here, and yeah, as you said, Yorktown, they're a 3A school playing in a 4A league, but they're fourth place right now.
Oh, I know it. They're doing a great job. It's just Mount Vernon is really good. They spanking them. They got after New Pal a couple of weeks ago when I had them. I know that, and we had a running clock in the second half. So it's nothing to be embarrassed about if you're Yorktown.
Moulton over the middle now, as you see a completed pass there to Lovelace. And keep in mind, you have Mount Vernon, who's a 4A school on top of this league, but New Pal off of the success factor after winning 6 straight HCC titles as well as a couple state championships in that time. They've moved up to the 5A class where they haven't backed off at all.
Right, exactly. And so it's a different type of ball game. nice play here on the screen. They're getting some screen passes again.
Dump off there to Ewing.
Getting the ball to the second tailback, Ewing. And, again, nice call by the offense coordinator for Yorktown to try to slow that rush down and take advantage of the rush and slip out a screen there.
Well, a lot of the second-team players in now here for Mount Vernon here on defense, as a timeout is going to be called here by Yorktown. They're going to maybe get a quick substitution timeout here for Coach Leidy, make sure he has all his right personnel in there. Meanwhile, Yorktown, they're going to take advantage of this, though. They're going to huddle and kind of regroup here on their side of the field.
Yeah, they got a nice little drive going. I like to see them get something before the halftime just to break that goose egg off the scoreboard. But, again, you cannot fault Mount Vernon here. They're substituting some guys and playing some kids that, hey, they practice too, and they practice long and hard, and they deserve to get after it on a Friday night as well as the first teamers. So, pardon our interpretation of names here. We're going to be searching here a little bit. We got a 2 deep, but
not exactly a 3 deep.
No, exactly. So, again, we'll try to do the best we can.
Got players like Joe Campos in here at defensive back for Mount Vernon, as well as DeJean Carter. Meanwhile, Moulton in the gun here, throwing into the mist. And it's completed there to his receiver. A nice pitch and catch there to Adam Morrow. And that'll stop the clock only briefly here to move the chains.
That's good for Yorktown.
And Yorktown working in plus territory legitimately here for the first time all half. The last time they were this deep was when they had a muffed punt, but they still turned the ball over on downs. Moulton floating it over the middle, pass nearly up and intercepted by Mount Vernon. And on the interception there, if I can get a feed on the number, and that's going to be Hunter Atkinson, the junior defensive back here for Mount Vernon.
Great play. Very nice play. He tried to loft it up. The quarterback had the right idea. The receiver had him beat a little bit, but he came up and just didn't get it far enough down the field. But great play, tipped it up, and got his own rebound, so to speak, in terms of making a play. Again, Mount Vernon's not changed their defense. They're playing man-free and getting after him. So, again, they'll take a knee here, I'm sure, and go to the locker room with the big lead.
Just underthrew it a little bit there as Mount Vernon will just take a couple of knees here and send this thing to halftime, putting up 56 points in the first half, making quick work here of the Tigers this evening en route to what they want to be an outright conference championship. And so that knee will tick down the clock here as it's at 20 seconds, and they'll let everything tick down here and regroup going into the halftime period. Mount Vernon putting up 56 points in the first half, 3 touchdowns by Eli Breidenthal, 2 from Keegan LaBelle, as well as a pair of touchdown passes from Garrett Slewnaker. 56-0 is the halftime score. We will send it to our halftime break here on 9 Star TV.
At the end of the first half, it's Mount Vernon.
Can't light a cigarette on an explosion.
Yeah, but it's so rad.
What are we getting?
What about When Harry Met Sally?
It's too old.
Oh, or what about Vanilla Sky?
How about something less creepy?
Bridesmaids.
Let me see.
What do you think?
good. The band's been playing all game. The band's been playing all game. They better be good. Thank you for helping me with this. There ain't no way in heck. 7 years you've never wanted to play these up. I know, I don't believe it either. I haven't. I mean, I usually get pull a card game. No, it's always been over. Been already on. Oh yeah.
Drum majors Haley Riley, Madeline Black, and Chloe Albright. Is the band ready?
I know how I do it, but I just never.
A society grows when old men plant trees whose shade they know they will never sit in.
Turn the balance up a little bit more, just so it mix.
Well, the halftime score says it all. It is 56-0, Mount Vernon with a massive lead going into the second half here in Fortville, Indiana. Thanks for joining us here on 9 Star TV alongside Coach Bob Bartolomeo. I am Kurt Darling. Coach, what else is there to say here about this one? Mount Vernon putting up a lot of points in the first half. We get a running clock here to start the second half.
Yeah, I'm sure Coach Leidy's real happy with this ball club, the way they came out and performed, took control of this football game right from the get-go. I'd say that the only thing that, and you mentioned it before, that they're a little bit upset about is the punt return team. They had 2 muffs and, let Yorktown recover one, but got the other one back. Here we go with some first half highlights, and both teams are warming up and ready to go, I think, to kick it off.
And one of these big highlights, of course, you see Garrick Slunaker making quick work of this defensive backfield here for Yorktown. Of course, one of those touchdowns that he had was to Ashton Gentry, who had a stellar season all season long. He gets his 9th touchdown catch of the season right there.
They did it in numerous ways in terms of scoring points. They threw it, they ran it, typical Mount Vernon fashion. They put up those stats early on and saw how balanced they are.
Of course, Keegan LaBelle, a big part of that, showing his speed. Over 100 yards rushing, 2 rushing touchdowns in the first half. Not a whole lot this kid can't do here when he has a lot of space to work.
He's a good football player. He is. He's a tough, hard-nosed kid that plays the game the way it should be played. He's a tenacious runner, gets his pads going forward, and then also a star on the defense.
And Garrick Slunaker, a check down right here. This is probably the play of the first half, as you see Trayvon Hegler go 91 yards on just a little screen pass there from Slunaker.
And I mentioned it during the play itself. The lineman did a great job of blocking there for Trayvon, and he did the rest.
And so Mount Vernon's going to start the second half with the ball, and they're going to call a timeout here. And it looks like Coach Leidy's going to make a few changes here in the return backfield here. He's going to get a couple of young guys out here, I guess. And they're definitely making some subs here as they're going to bring Ashton Gentry out of the ball game. And it's because of an equipment issue. He put a hoodie sweatshirt on underneath his pads. And that is not something you are allowed to do. So Coach Leidy had to take him out of the ball game and put in Trey Jones, as you now have a kickoff. And it's going to be returned here by Hegler. And he tries to shake off some tacklers, gets back to the 40-yard line, and then checks back up to midfield, and he keeps his feet rolling down across midfield. That's an interesting thing, though, Coach. You see a player putting on some illegal form of clothing right there, something you can't do. He had to be taken out of the ball game right there.
Yeah, I'm sure that it's been discussed before, and, it probably signifies he's probably going to be done for the evening unless he takes it off here. I didn't know that was a rule, but I could see that from a safety standpoint where kids can grab that thing and, yank on it and give him a horse collar tackle.
And so now you have backup quarterback in the ball game for the Marauders, and this is going to be Tyler Etherington, who is going to be taking command of this offense for the Marauders here in the second half. They're going to stop the clock here. It's going to be an official timeout as you have an injured player for Yorktown on the field. He's slow to get up. And it looks like that is Grant Doherty. And that's not something you want to see if you're head coach Mike Wilhelm, as Grant Doherty, described as their little giant, in quotation marks right there. He has 82 tackles along with 2 sacks. He is the leading tackler on this defensive backfield for Yorktown, all while standing all of 5'10" and weighing 155 pounds as a senior.
Yeah, he's done a great job for him in this 2021 season for the Tiger defense.
Etherington has the handoff this time, and getting it over midfield there are the Marauders. And that time you see Ashton Julian getting in on that carry.
Yeah, we're going to be a little slow with the names here because we're going into the 3 deep and 2 deep segment. Again, credit to Coach Leidy letting these kids play. They work hard also.
Handoff is to Julian again, and he gets it across the 40-yard line, and it'll be close to first down yardage. And so once again, it'll be a 4th down here, 4th down in inches, and the Marauders look like they're content to probably just punt this thing away and let Yorktown have a whack at it here, as once again, it is a running clock. So you will not see the clock stop at all unless a timeout is called by either team, or if the officials need to stop the clock for an injury, as we just saw there for Grant Doherty.
Yeah, you're going to see a little bit of confusion here in terms of, getting players on and off. They're not accustomed to getting this much playing time this early in the football game.
So the backup punter is now getting some reps in here for Mount Vernon, as that's Dean Helms, the sophomore place kicker. And he gets that down inside of the red zone. And this will be brought back here to about the 16-yard line. And so now we take a look at the sectional draw here for Yorktown. And they'll be on the road to start off the sectional tournament as they face a North Montgomery team who is very good this year so far in the 3A ranks, but they have a tough test right now against Danville at their home turf up there in Montgomery County. And so Mason Moulton is still in the ball game here for Yorktown, as you might expect, and he hands the ball off to Thomas, it appears, and he brings it forward for about a gain of 5.
Yeah, they got Wells in there still, so they got some first teamers. I'm not sure if they've substituted wholeheartedly yet, but again, Wells is one of their big playmakers, leading tackler for that defense up front. Nose guard.
Moulton looking over to the left side, and that looks like it's complete to Nanko, and that might be an interception. And it looks like it might be. We'll see what the call is. No, it's going to be a catch by Nanko, and that's the rule. If both players catch the ball at the same time, the tie goes to the receiver.
Simultaneous catch there. Good call by the referee. Again, good job by both young men fighting for that football. And again, I think boy, I tell you, that was tough.
That's a juggled catch, but they both look like they got the ball at the same time there, so a heads-up play there by the officials to make the right call on the simultaneous catch. Here's Thomas right up the middle, and he cannot get back to the line of scrimmage, and it will be another 3 and out for Yorktown.
They may go for it here. It's 4th down and got about less than a yard to go, and see if they can get a yard to keep this drive alive.
Of course, this might be, a way just to instill some confidence in your team, knowing that you can at least make certain things happen, as Moulton will just punch it right up the middle, and it looks like he has enough for the first down.
Yeah, it's a good job by the center there, leading the charge with the 2 guards and allowing the quarterback sneak to get that first down and keep this drive alive. So nice play by the offensive line there, and the quarterback securing that first down.
And so if Yorktown at least can't get something on the board here in this ball game, as Moulton looks right over the middle, pass complete to his receiver, and that is going to go all the way to the end zone. Touchdown, Tigers. Adam Morrow gets the Tigers on the scoreboard, and it snaps Mount Vernon's scoreless streak on defense.
That was a great throw. I thought the quarterback really set his feet there and rifled that thing in there, and Morrow made a nice catch and run with the football. But, again, good job. They ran a little out and in route with the 2 receivers in the corner, and the looks like the safety kind of ran into each other from Mount Vernon and allowed the Morrow to go the distance for the touchdown.
Adam Morrow's 4th touchdown catch of the season. That puts him over 300 yards receiving on the year. And now we wait for the place kicker for Yorktown to come out here to put the extra point on the board. It will be Joey Hazen, who is 23 of 26 on the season in this regard. High snap, and Webster's going to have to take it away himself and throws it back to Hazen, who throws it forward. And an almost an interesting play right there. It's going to be a no-good 2-point conversion. But needless to say, that looked like it was a lateral back to Hazen, who then tried to put it forward for a pass, and it was caught by one of his teammates there. It looked like that may have been Caden Phillips on the reception. But either way, let's take a look at this reception here once again to Adam Morrow.
Good job by the quarterback sitting in there and hitting the receiver in stride, and good play for the Yorktown offense.
So if things hold up here as the clock is stopped now, as we wait to reset things, the clock will stop in between scores once the extra points or points after touchdown have been decided. And it will restart here in just a little bit. But if this result holds up, as it undoubtedly will, this will be Mount Vernon's 310th program victory. They are 309, 255, and 2 in their long history of playing football dating back to 1966. And, of course, Coach Mike Kirshner, a big part of that, leading Mount Vernon to 3 winning seasons in his time here at Mount Vernon before moving on to Warren Central.
Kickoff sailed into the end zone. They'll take it off and be ready to go 1st and 10.
And once again, the clock continues to roll here as we're now inside of 5 minutes here in the third quarter. This is also the 8th straight game that Mount Vernon has been able to put up at least 40 points. They have not scored less than 36 points all season long, and that 36-point benchmark was set back in their season-opening loss to Noblesville, which was a 57-36 loss. But then Mount Vernon has not lost a game since then, as you get Hegler on the jet sweep out of bounds. Actually, that's on the call there. That is Kobe Austin on the carry.
Yeah, they've got some subs in there running the jet sweep coming around, and play that they've ran in the first half and had success with. Just have different people doing it right now, and getting some of the younger kids go, and some guys that usually don't get a lot of playing time.
And once again, a handoff up the gut, but it's made in the backfield there for Austin. And it'll be another 2nd down and long here.
A good play by the Yorktown defense up front. Took control of that play and squelched it early, and didn't allow the runner to get back to the line of scrimmage.
And we get a false start penalty here. That will stop the clock here, or it will not stop the clock, actually. They make the indication to stop the clock, do the officials, but that's one thing we always have to remember whenever that's the thing, we're still getting used to this new rule. It was implemented by the IHSAA a couple of years ago as a way to move games along that are in certain situations such as this, where there's a team up by many points, and it's just kind of move things along and move on to the next one. As Kobe Austin on the carry once again, and he is met in the backfield once again.
Yeah, just running some basic plays now for Mount Vernon, ran a little trap play there in the middle, pulled the guard around, and again, good play by the Yorktown defense. Looks like they've got some subs in also and letting their kids play a little bit as we go through the second half here.
Handoff once again to Austin, and that'll bring up 4th down yet again. And, Coach, this is a Yorktown team, as we talked about earlier in the first half, is that they're really in the middle of kind of a transition phase here because they won their sectional title back in 2014 when they had a really, really good team that had the potential to make it to state, but they couldn't get that far because, well, they had to meet Bishop Chatard back then. And, of course, you know, Bishop Chatard is a historically good ball club there in Indianapolis. But ever since then, they had Coach Wilhelm kind of talked about how he and his assistants may have kind of let things kind of get a little lax in the program, and then it kind of started to kind of deteriorate a little bit, and so they've only had one or two winning seasons in the last 6 years. And so he's really made it a priority of building up the program once again. They had as little as 40 kids on this team back a couple of years ago. They're now up to 60 kids, and they're young, and now it's just a matter of just keep building off of what they keep building right now here, as they will finish the season with a winning record and taking a loss here this evening.
Yeah, and talking with the AD also prior to the game, Paul Heiderich, he was very complimentary of Coach Wilhelm starting a youth league and trying to keep kids in his area from heading up to Delta, who has gotten some good mileage out of their youth football league.
As you see Moulton take a sack right there as we tick inside of a minute here in this third quarter. And, you know, and you see a lot of that here among Hoosier Heritage Conference teams. You know, Garrick Slunaker, for example, he played at Greenfield Central in his freshman year, and then he moves over to Mount Vernon. And keeping another case in point going back even further than that, a very good running back by the name of Charlie Spiegel from New Pal. He played at Delta his first 2 years before transferring to New Pal. You see a lot of players moving around in this league.
Yeah, it seems to be the sign of the times, really, not only in this high school settings, but also now with the college portal, in terms of players that are not satisfied at one spot, and they have the ability now to transfer and be eligible right away. And it just presents a little bit of a challenge for a lot of coaches on a lot of different levels.
Indeed it does. Fourth quarter coming up next here on 9 Star TV.
My name is Patty Potty, and I'd like to talk to you about all those kinds of convenience products. People are flushing down the toilet, clogging up our sewer system, and causing expensive repair bills. They might flush down, but they sure don't flush out. Make sure you trash them. Don't flush them, only flush the 3 P's. Pee, poo, and paper. Toilet paper, that is. And remember, no wipes in those pipes.
This important message was brought to you by 9 Star Connect, your water and sewer provider.
12 more minutes of football here on 9 Star TV. A blowout here for Mount Vernon as they look to corral their 8th win of the season here on 9 Star TV. Alongside Coach Bob Bartolomeo, I'm Kurt Darling. But, Coach, football season might be coming to an end here for the regular season. We're getting ready for some basketball here on 9 Star TV, as you'll see LaPel take on Pendleton Heights for the season opening game here on 9 Star TV for the basketball season on December 3rd.
Boy, it happens in a hurry, doesn't it? It's just one sport leads right into the other. So, again, we're experiencing here some rush by the Mount Vernon young guys in there. And, some of the second, third teamers are getting a crack at getting some playing time here on a Friday night. And, got Yorktown in a punt formation here to get the ball back for Mount Vernon.
And talking with Coach Lighty earlier, just yesterday, actually, he made it a point that, they need to at least have a good game, and they've certainly had that here this evening, but not just tonight, but going into the rest of the tournament, because, and I'm sure you can relate to something that is said like this when it comes to coaching, the saddest day of football season, especially for a player, is when they have to turn in their pads at the end of the season.
Oh, without a doubt, and I'm sure they have aspirations of going on, and again, they're going to be a team to be reckoned with, as we've talked about throughout the tournament, I think their draw is favorable for them, and again, they should be able to handle some of the people that they have in front of them and keep it going here. Again, remain healthy and, get better, a little bit better every time. But, Again, they ran a sweep there to the right side of the offensive line and got her going there. Number 22.
That's Ashton Julian.
Ashton Julian again running the football. Did a nice job. Getting a good block from 24 there. Tachi, I'm going to let you pronounce that.
That'd be Tachi Anuan.
Anuan, okay.
As once again, Julian on the actually, that's going to be a keeper from quarterback Tyler Etherington.
You know, when you got a last name like Bartolomeo, I don't apologize for not being able to pronounce people's names because they butcher mine all the time. So I'm right with you, Tachi. Yeah.
Well, I mean, or you could try having a last name like Darling, where you have a whole bunch of Peter Pan jokes thrown at you every day.
At least they can pronounce it.
At least they can pronounce it, yes. But then they ridicule you for it relentlessly. As we tick inside of 10 minutes here. And so 56-6, a 50-point lead here for Mount Vernon.
It's good to see these young guys get some cracks at it, though. You know, that's the one thing about being up big is it gets a lot of people some playing time. And guys that, you know, they practice and work hard and they're out in the weight room and doing all those types of things. And, you know, they deserve to get their crack at it on a Friday night.
And Tachi Anuan again there with the carry right there. And, you know, you mentioned it right there, Coach, is the fact that a lot of people here in attendance tonight are seeing, you know, the future of this team here tonight because, as we talked about, Mount Vernon's graduating 22 seniors tonight. They're graduating a lot of experience to move on to better things, and so it's literally going to be a big next man up mentality next year for this team.
Yeah, it's you know, not a tight football game, but one in which you're still getting snaps on a Friday night, and one in which you've got to make plays and you got to do your assignment. You got to listen. You got to get off on the count. You got to, you know, take all the things that you've been taught and you know, put them into action here, and to prove yourself, to leave a good taste in the coach's mind for the following year.
And so, what little things do you look for in these young kids in these situations? What exactly is it that you're looking for in particular in times like this?
I think one of the big things is competitor. What kind of competitor is he? You know, is he a guy that's going to be lackadaisical in some of his because we do have such a big lead, or is he a guy that's really going to take to heart the things that he's been coached and really get after it from that standpoint? So let's see what kind of competitor they are.
And you mentioned competitor right there. One competitor that Coach Leidy talked about this week is one Ashton Gentry. You saw a lot from him in the first half. Haven't seen any of him in the second half, obviously. But he described him as probably the biggest competitor on this team. And one way that he really learned to be able to be a good competitor is being able to put bad things behind him and put him behind him quickly. Because there was one particular play back when he was a freshman, I believe, that he talked about where he had an open pass and he just dropped it, and it cost him a big playmaking opportunity right there. But he was impressed with how he was able to put that behind him and keep that going throughout the next few years of his career, and he's certainly been able to do that. As you see Mount Vernon once again get close to the end zone, and they're in for another touchdown, and better late than never here for the first touchdown of Ashton Julian's career.
Yeah, it was a nice run. I tell you, he had some great blocking now because he didn't get touched really till about the 1 yard line, but little sweet play. They've been running it. Nice job on the perimeter there. Blocking the defensive end, and again, just putting his pads down and getting it in the end zone. Nice run there. Good, tough, hard run by Ashton.
This game now marks the most points scored by Mount Vernon this season in a single game, as the PAT is up and through the uprights there for Mount Vernon. Their backup kicker, once again, Dean Helms, getting in on the scoreboard there.
Yeah, good run here. Again, good blocking by the perimeter. There's some wideouts throwing blocks. I didn't catch the number, but good job done there. As well as the end man on the line of scrimmage making that key block and letting Ashton turn the corner and get it in the end zone. Good hard run, good finish on the run. You like to see those running backs finish those runs, especially near the end zone where they got to get it in from a yard out before, when they get hit and finishing through the tackler.
So stopping the clock temporarily here as we get the change of possession here in just a little bit. This will be Yorktown's 11th loss of the series history to Mount Vernon over the last 35 years. This will be Mount Vernon's 25th win and their 7th straight against the Tigers dating back to 2014. Fielded by Jalen Thomas. Again, trying to cut it to the outside, and Thomas has not been able to do anything that he's wanted to do on special teams here this evening, at least on kickoffs. Now, on punt returns, could be a little bit of a different story.
Yeah, he's got some wheels, though. I tell you, he tried to hit the outside there and give Mount Vernon the first couple times he got around the outside, but that time they had it secured, and I'm sure he drew that up at halftime and talked about containing that kickoff return being bounced outside there.
And so this will be Coach Mike Wilhelm's 92nd loss as a head coach at Yorktown, where he has been for 17 seasons. And it was 17 years ago that Coach Wilhelm was kind of surprised at the fact that he was going to become a teacher and a head coach. It's kind of interesting how he came into this role. In fact, he failed to get into med school 3 times with a degree in biology.
Oh my!
And so, with no other options to turn to, he had a few contacts in Yorktown when they were looking for a science teacher. And so he makes a few things happen, and then he becomes a science teacher. He gets his teaching degree from Ball State concurrently while teaching science here at Yorktown High School. And on top of that, he gets hired to coach football as well, and he has been here for 17 years and has gone 500 at this point, but he'll go below 500 here tonight.
Good little run there by DJ Green. It's a good story about Mike. He's a good guy. He's a Yorktown guy through and through, obviously. He's doing a good job there, and again, he's got his team, they're a 3A team playing in a 4A league, so it's tough sledding, especially up front.
Moulton has Webster, gets out at about the 40-yard line.
Yeah, that play before, Green made a nice job, and the lineman up front did some great blocking. And then on this one, on first down, they got 5 yards on a little quick pass. And, again, good job by the quarterback taking what's given to him and getting it to second and 5.
Meanwhile, Coach Leidy, he came to Mount Vernon as an assistant under Coach Kirshner back in 2018. And there's DJ Green with a big scamper out to the sideline, trying to break it out. Instead, he gets pushed out of bounds at about the 20-yard line.
Nice little run there. Good opening in terms of blocking up front by the O-line for Yorktown. And Green made a slice through there and hit the outside and hit another gear there, so to speak, and got pushed out barely at the end by the safety from Mount Vernon.
But, yeah, Coach Leidy came to Mount Vernon back in 2018 as an assistant for Coach Kirshner. But before that, he spent a few years at Hamilton Southeastern and then kept building up a program there and eventually ascended to the head coaching position here at Mount Vernon once Coach Kirshner moved on to Warren Central. Inside of 3 minutes here in this ball game, and this will be Mount Vernon's second consecutive HHC Conference Championship, and it will be their second consecutive outright conference championship.
Yeah, hats off to them. They got these senior players have put together back-to-back, and sometimes that's not easy. Complacency sits in, but these kids have not given up, and again, good job on their part, good job on Coach Leidy's part and his staff.
Direct snap there to the wide receiver in the Wildcat, Trey Jones. And he gets tackled in the backfield there as we go inside of 2 minutes remaining here. And, of course, it's for a lot of people here in the Hoosier Heritage Conference, it's probably a little bit of a breath of fresh air knowing that you have another competitive team that's winning back-to-back multiple championships that's not named New Palestine.
That's for sure. I'm sure that, it's been in their crawl to get after New Pal. But again, Coach Ralph, he's got them going back. They haven't lost, but except for that right at the end there.
And Blair Webster gets a touchdown pass into the end zone for the Tigers.
Nice throw and catch. Good to see that out and up route by the Webster kid, and good protection by the offensive line. He gave the quarterback some time to set his feet and to throw it into the end zone for another score for Yorktown.
Mason Moulton's second touchdown pass of the night. Actually, that is not Mason Moulton. That is Trey Jones.
Yeah, I thought they switched quarterbacks there at in this drive, and again, it's hard to keep track, but they did a nice job of giving him some goes.
Another correction. That's actually Wilson Webster, the freshman quarterback for Yorktown, getting the touchdown pass right there. And like you said, just getting some valuable experience right there is the freshman.
Yeah, I mean, there's a kid that's I don't know how old are freshmen, 14 years old, something like that.
Probably more like 15 or 16 maybe.
Unbelievable. Having Friday nights and throwing a touchdown and against a team that is pretty good. So I'm sure he'll remember this one. And again, like I've said all along, though, all these kids practice any more high school football. They go all year round and practice during the summer months. There's really not a lot of rules anymore in terms of when and in terms of how long they can practice. And so they put their time and effort starting in the weight room in January and or right when the season ends, in some cases November. And they just keep going all the way through. And here we are in the later stages of October, and they finally get some playing time.
Indeed they do, and that's one thing you talk about, how prepping for football can be a year-round thing, but one thing that Coach Leidy actually makes imperative of his players here at Mount Vernon is to play multiple sports. And case in point is Keegan LaBelle. He's wrestled at points, but primarily he is a football player in the fall and a track and field athlete in the spring when he's pole vaulting.
I think it's hats off to him and hats off to Leidy and his staff for encouraging kids to do that. Specialization anymore has ruined some kids, I think, in terms of, it's one thing to compete, but I think they're going to let the clock run out here, Coach, and it looks like Mount Vernon's got a good way to send themselves off and get ready for the tournament.
Indeed they are. They are going to let things run out, so that will do it. Here from Fortville, Indiana, final score will be a 63-13 rout by Mount Vernon on Yorktown. Coach, it's been a pleasure tonight, my friend.
Great being with you again, Kurt, and look forward to it. And thanks to 9-Star. They do a great job in their production team and getting after it and letting these kids get on TV.
Absolutely. For all of us here at 9-Star TV, for Coach Bob Bartolomeo, I'm Kurt Darling saying so long till next time. You have been watching Hoosier Heritage Conference High School Football here on 9-Star TV. So long, everybody.